What if the most powerful warrior never draws his sword? What if the greatest victory leaves no scars in a world that glorifies domination, noise, and the appearance of strength? There exists a forgotten form of power, one that does not fight to be seen, one that does not rise to every insult, and yet it cannot be touched. This is not the way of the world. It is the way of the Stoic. To live a good life, we have the potential for it. If we learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. Marcus Aurelius. There is a kind of strength that never raises its voice, a power that makes no sound, yet bends the world through its very presence. In a society that equates noise with confidence, aggression with dominance, and retaliation with success, there remains a forgotten path. A path that does not shout, nor seek vengeance, nor wrestle in the mud of ego. It is the path of the Stoic, a way of winning not by overpowering others, but by mastering the self. This is the Stoic victory. And it begins not in war, but in stillness. 1. Rule the self, disarm the enemy. Every enemy is a mirror revealing the parts of us still chained by reaction. They attack not to wound the body, but to provoke the soul. What do they want? Your anger, your pride, your voice raised in defense. But what if you gave them nothing? An enemy is powerful only if he rules your peace. When you respond with silence, with composure, with detachment, the sword they wield falls through the air, cutting nothing. As Seneca once wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. No insult has power unless you give it meaning. No betrayal can sting unless you choose to bleed. So when offense rises like fire within, breathe. Do not pour oil upon it. Let it burn itself out. To walk away unshaken is to win the battle before it begins. 2. Let virtue be your armor. The Stoic does not wear shields of metal or bark. Their armor is invisible yet impenetrable. Character is their defense, temperance their sword, justice their compass, wisdom their guide. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Marcus Aurelius, let your life be the answer. Do not argue with a fool. Do not descend into the mud to prove your elevation. When they lie, you speak truth. When they shout, you remain calm. When they strike, you walk past. Virtue does not ignore the enemy, it renders them irrelevant. You rise not by defeating them in their arena, but by refusing to play their game. 3. Outlast through stillness. The world mistakes motion for progress, noise for leadership, speed for strength. But true power is patient. A man who must react to everything is already a prisoner. But a man who can endure becomes timeless. No man is free who is not master of himself. Seneca. The Stoic lets the storm pass. He watches while others burn their energy trying to provoke him. He observes their urgency and lets it collapse upon itself. Stillness is not inaction. It is presence. It is the unshakable confidence of one who does not need to prove himself. The enemy tires, but the Stoic remains. 4. See clearly, respond wisely. To know your opponent is not to scheme their destruction, but to reclaim your own clarity. The Stoic does not seek to control others. He seeks to free himself from their control. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus, their insult, a projection, their chaos, a weakness, their attack, a call for reaction. But when you see clearly, you respond from a higher plane. Do not take their behavior personally. It was never about you. It is the clouded mind that reacts blindly. But the clear mind chooses its battles and often chooses none. 5. Cling to purpose. Ignore distraction. Not all enemies scream. Some come cloaked in flattery, some disguised as friends, some as momentary indulgences that pull you from the path. But the Stoic sees through all of them. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus, if you are to be disciplined, act with discipline. If you are to be strong, refuse the bait. Distraction is defeat in slow motion. Each time you answer their nonsense, each time you step into their arena, you lose momentum. You lose self. Let them throw stones. Let them gossip and shout and doubt you. You have work to do. You have a summit to climb. Walk forward and leave them behind. 6. Need nothing from them, win everything. The one who needs nothing is invincible. Do not seek their approval. Do not fear their rejection. Praise is a drug, criticism a mirror, but both can be discarded by the free mind. Wealth is not in possessing much, but in desiring little. Seneca. Apply this to pride. Apply this to status. Apply this to the whispers of those who do not know your soul. When they see you unmoved, neither rising for praise nor falling from insult, they lose their grip on you. This is power, not the kind that dominates from without, but the kind that stands centered within. 7. Let silence finish the fight. Silence is not submission. It is sovereignty. It is not weakness. It is mastery. It is not the thing itself that disturbs us, but our judgment of it. Marcus Aurelius, where others explode, remain still. Where others escalate, remain grounded. Silence breaks the rhythm of the conflict. It denies the attacker their audience. It returns you to yourself. Let them talk. Let them rant. Let them dig their own grave. You, meanwhile, simply walk away. Final reflection. Self-mastery is the only victory. This journey is not about conquering others. It is not about winning as the world defines it. It is about becoming so whole, so disciplined, so rooted in purpose, that you are beyond reach. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, you hold your emotions. You live your values. You speak only when needed. You act not from impulse, but from clarity. And one day, you will look back not to count enemies fallen, but to realize they simply faded. Because the higher you rise in self-mastery, the quieter the world becomes. There is no need to fight. There is only the need to rise, not above others, but above the part of yourself that still thinks you must prove anything. Let this be your practice. When tempted to argue, remain silent. When provoked to anger, breathe. When offered distraction, return to purpose. When surrounded by noise, go inward. For in the end, the man who wins without war is not the man who conquered the world, but the one who conquered himself. If this reflection has stirred something within you, consider joining us on the path of inner strength and quiet wisdom. Subscribe to the Stoic Shine, and let timeless philosophy guide your modern life.